let's say where we already have established markers, right? With this naked category, with the Duke, where you know where people are at, what they're willing to accept, right? You're sitting in the middle ground, and as an idea, it then doesn't sell itself,
No.
right?
No.
So, which is why I asked, is there, by phase two, I meant was because we're saying this is so smooth and because the chassis is so competent,
Yeah.
is there a step, the next step that is being.
They won't tell us, obviously.
Okay.
They won't tell us.
But you think
this project is 4 years old. So they were working on this for the last 4 years. So you have to assume that they're working on something else already.
I would really hope that there is.
No, they have to be. Look, the 2 or 3 things that are falling into the right zone for me mentally for Hero is one, their R&D center is now 8 years old. In my experience, 10 years is when R&D setups fall into a rhythm. And R&D centers don't generally have a high movement of engineers. They generally stay where they are, which means the team gets used to each other. They get used to each other's quirks, preferences. They start working better together. And if you remember, when Bajaj did Stars Ahead, which is their current R&D setup, Stars Ahead started producing their first super effective motorcycles at 10 years. Hero, I think, is slightly ahead of that curve. Technology may have helped. The seniority of the staff that had come in to build the early stages may have helped. But they might be able to achieve what that 10-year thing is starting next year. On average, new motorcycle platform projects have 4 years in the development. And that should tell you that the 210, Xpulse, and this are both brand new products because they're both 4-year projects that have come to fruition together.
I can't wait to talk about the Xpulse.
Right? Yeah. So if you look at it like that, things are clicking into place. Product lines are clicking into place. In the background, there is also the commercial aspect of this, right? They've created the Premia network. It's 65 open dealers today. It's another, it's going to total up to 100 within the next couple of months. They need to have enough products to be able to have the justifiable inventory to turn money around, right? The Vidas are in there. These motorcycles are going in there. The Zoom 160 will be in there. The Charisma is in there. Maverick and Harley is in there. So all the product launches that are going, if you look at it, they're all going to premium.
Yeah.
It has to be that there is a step from this. But will the step be in like 3 months' time? Yeah, well, obviously not. It'll be next year.
And in this regard, the one thing that I will add is that we don't see it. We can see all the new buildings and the facilities crop up, and Hero CIT, when it was inaugurated, it still is massively impressive.
Yeah.
But when you take an organization which is as old as Hero, with their background of being number one, doing a particular kind of thing, changing the mindset and changing the behavior and thinking within the organization to reorient towards a different world, so to speak, because going from commuters which practically sell themselves to going to premium, which is lifestyle, and building a new mindset for that is a massive task. And so this 8-10 year phase for us seems like, man, it's taken so long.
Yeah.
But making all those things line up and work in an organization that's that large is a massive.
Yeah, it's the Pune helmet law problem. He's laughing because he's been there, right? Whenever they try to implement helmet laws in Pune, which is India's city with the largest two-wheeler population or whatever, people are protesting saying helmets are too hot, helmets are like this, like that, and the other. And
My helmets are bad for health.
Yeah, and it's 4 steps forward and then 3 steps rolled back. And then every so many years, they try to take one more step and they roll half a step back. So it's moving forward, but it's not like an easy, smooth, logical movement, right? And I'm not privy to what goes on inside here, obviously, but I'm going to assume organization that size, that old, with that much momentum, people cannot move forward without having battles to fight on a daily basis. And then somebody has to say, no, but we have to do this.
Right.
And then try and get people to agree that this is worth doing. Like I was thinking about, how many parts does a motorcycle have? If you start from small sub-assemblies to the top and small aggregates to the top, hundreds, thousands. That implies hundreds, thousands of accessory and component suppliers in that chain. Now you're saying we want to make a premium product, which means the edge of the plastic on this piece cannot look rough. It has to look finished. And you have to do this kind of detail work with these many organizations who all have their own legacies, histories, and momentum.
And the pace of development would have changed so dramatically compared to before. And building your own, product development, it's a lot.
It's a lot to do.
It's a lot of stuff.
And for somebody at the, let's call it seniority level of Hero, where they are the number one and they have been around for a while and blah, blah, blah. For them, the task is double hard because you've already tasted success. and the success is still there, and that product is still there, and it's still doing those things. Uske beech mein there is a small part of the organization that has said, no, you need to do this, and they're like, but how? Everybody's fighting with us. I'm sure it is a very, very difficult place to work at in some ways. It's also a very exciting place to work at in some ways. But I'm happy that every single successive time we see a hero product. In fact, I was telling this to somebody. We keep looking up to the global brands, and we say Japanese reliability and Italian soul and all of this. Just think about what Bajaj, Hero, TVS and Royal Enfield are doing. 4 Indian companies. They've all not fallen into the trap of we need international tie-ups for everything. They've much rather gone and hired international talent and brought them into the organization. But look at their bikes. Look at the prices those bikes are at. We are an incredibly, incredibly efficient place to make motorcycles with. And our motorcycles, scooters are fundamentally so good.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I get upset about the Japanese manufacturers and what they're up to is because in the light of what they're capable of globally, the Indian guys make them look like they're not even awake. 4 years it takes to build a brand new motorcycle. So how do you explain that the Gixxer, which is so amazing, is what, 10 years old, 12 years old, 14 years old, 16 years old?
I feel like I was a kid when I rode
0
it.
updates? How do you explain that?
Yeah.
Right? Our phones were at 1G when the Activa came out. Our phones have reached 5G, the Activa only reached 6G. How is this justifiable?
Dude, seriously, when I'm thinking back to when I rode the Gixxer, my memories are also like in like 720p, man. I mean, it just
I remember
feels
my
like
blue Joe Rocket
fuzzy
jacket. My
and-
blue Joe Rocket
Shut
jacket basically means we are talking about like 15, 16, 17 years ago, man.
It can't be that long, but it feels.
It feels like it, yeah.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It feels like it. Hello. If you enjoyed this clip, which means you're into good conversations, and that's what we're all about. It's really hard packing in the essence of an idea into a 60-second clip. This 3-minute, 5-minute video would have given you a sense of that, and you can enjoy this entire conversation in its full glory on the MotorInc channel. So why don't you head out over there and subscribe to that, and you could subscribe to this channel as well if you enjoyed it.